My daughter cut contact with me after I refused to spend my retirement fund on her wedding. We didn't speak for years. Then she showed up at my house with 3 kids after her husband kicked her out. Hi everyone, I am in a very difficult situation right now. I have no idea what to do, so I would really appreciate some help. My daughter Emily, 38, and I, 63, have not spoken for the past 10 years. It was very difficult for me because 10 years ago she decided to get married to her boyfriend Liam, and they wanted an extremely expensive wedding that I didn't think I could afford. She was basically asking me to spend my entire retirement fund on her wedding, and I had to put my foot down and say no to her. In addition to that, she had even promised Liam and his family that her father would be bearing the entire cost of the wedding as a wedding gift to her. She hadn't even bothered to ask me about it. She just went ahead and made that promise. And when I said that was not happening, she started to accuse me of not caring about her, making her look bad in front of her new family and all of that. We got into a pretty bad fight back then, and she basically gave me an ultimatum saying that I could either pay for the wedding or she would never speak to me again. I told her that I was definitely not paying for the wedding. And since then, she cut me off and never spoke to me again. It was incredibly difficult for me because she was my only child. And since my wife had passed away when she was 16, it had just been the two of us against the world. I had done my best to give her everything, and yet it seemed like I had not done enough. It broke my heart, but there was nothing that I could do about it. She did keep in touch with the rest of the family, though, and that's how I found out that she did end up getting married, but not in the kind of wedding that she wanted. It was a smaller wedding on a more normal scale. And then when about a year later she was pregnant with her first child. I tried to reach out to her, but she blocked me. In the past 10 years, she has had 3 kids. And if I'm not wrong, the oldest is 9 years old, the middle child is 5, and the youngest is 3 years old. And every time she would announce her pregnancy on social media, I would try to reach out to her. I would try to congratulate her through other people, but she never responded to me. I've never met my grandkids. And in the past couple of years, I had pretty much just given up hope of any sort of reconciliation. However, a couple of days ago, she turned up at my house out of the blue, and it was pretty late at night, so it was clear that she was in trouble. From the state of her and the kids, I could tell that something was wrong. And before asking any questions, I invited her in, and she immediately started talking about whatever had happened and how she needed my help right now. I'll keep it short. So apparently in the past couple of years, her marriage with her husband Liam has gone downhill significantly. 3 kids is too much for them to handle, but she was the one who wanted the kids. So after their second child, she ended up quitting her job to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. Even then, money has been tight. And after their third kid, Liam spends most of his time in the office, and whenever they are at home, they inevitably end up fighting about something or other. That's how it's been for the past couple of years. And then a few weeks ago, she found out that he had been cheating on her. She confronted him about it, and he did not even deny it, and she wanted to get marriage counseling and work things out with him. But he said that he needed some space to think about it. So for the past 2 weeks, he had been staying with a friend. Or at least that's what he told her. But she thinks that he had been staying with his coworker, the one he was having an affair with. And earlier that day, before she showed up at my place, he had come back home with the divorce papers and said that he wanted her to clear out. He gave her until the end of the week, but she got egoistic, and she decided to pack some of her stuff and take the kids with her and move out immediately. Then she didn't know where else to go. So she decided to come to me. Long story short, her cheating husband basically kicked her out of the house. So she took the kids and came to me for my help because she has practically no money and can't exactly afford a very good lawyer, nor does she have a place to stay at the moment, and everything is a mess. After she was done with her story, I sympathized with her. But in the back of my head, I was hoping that she would apologize for everything that had happened in the past, but she didn't. First, she spent half an hour talking about what had happened with her, then another half an hour crying, and I ended up consoling the kids who were also crying, but there was no apology. Eventually, she put the kids to bed in the guest room, and I thought that finally now she would apologize. But even then, she didn't say anything, and I was really disappointed. I ended up sleeping on the couch, and she used my room for the night. But the next morning when we woke up, I decided to finally tell her how disappointed I was in her behavior at breakfast. Throughout the night, I had been feeling really bad about the fact that here I was helping her out, willing to forget everything that had happened in the past and put it all behind us, but she didn't even have the courtesy to apologize to me. I thought that it was worth talking about. So I brought it up, and she immediately started yelling at me, telling me that she was quite stressed out as it is and that she didn't need me lecturing her about useless crap like this. I tried to speak to her calmly, and I said that I was just sharing how I felt because it had been a long time since I had last seen her or spoken to her, and an apology was the least I could expect from her, but she just kept yelling at me, telling me that I was making everything all about myself and that I should be a little more compassionate given the situation she's in right now and cut her some slack. And the fact that she was yelling at me even though I was trying to help her out, that's what really got under my skin. So I ended up losing my temper as well. And I told her if she was going to act like this, then she had better leave, because I had already spent 10 years without her. So I would be fine without her for 10 more. Then she got all huffy and she went back into her room, packed her things, and left again. And for the past 2 days after she left, I haven't heard from her, but I haven't tried to contact her either. I feel kind of bad about what I did because at the end of the day, she was right. She was going through a lot. I feel bad for the kids as well because they are the ones who are going to suffer the most. I feel like I screwed up my chance to make everything right, and I've been thinking about that for a while now. Am I the asshole now for asking my daughter to leave because she did not apologize to me? Edit. Hello. So I know that a lot of people suggested that Emily should know her rights. And that's the thing. She does know that Liam can't technically just kick her out like that. And even he had given her a week's notice, which is obviously not enough for something like this. But the problem is that she's running really low on money, and her savings have been significantly affected in the past couple of years because even though she didn't have a job, she was still helping out with the finances at home. They were splitting all the expenses 70 to 30, and even that can build up to a significant amount over a couple of years. So she barely has any savings right now. So even if she knows her rights, it's not going to get her anywhere. That's the issue right now, which is why she just decided to leave in a dignified way. That's what she told me, at least. So that's what I know so far. Update 1. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for all the kind words and the supportive comments. It means a lot to me. I have been thinking about what to do regarding the current situation for quite some time now. It's been almost 6 days since she left, and after that she did not bother to contact me. But I know that eventually she's going to have to reach out to me. Because from what I know, she doesn't have a lot of money to go on, and the savings that she has, it's not going to last her long. It's a different story if she is able to manage to get a friend to help her out. But then I think if she had friends like that, she would have gone to them in the first place instead of relying on me, somebody she hasn't spoken to in 10 years. I know I'm her father, but even then I know she's quite stubborn and can be very adamant at times. That's why she didn't speak to me for 10 years. So if she ended up showing up at my place, it obviously meant that she really needed help. And there was nobody else who could help her out apart from me. And I have decided that I'm going to let her decide whether she wants to apologize to me or not. Because without an apology, I'm not helping anyone. She might be too proud to say that she was wrong, but I'm too proud to let this go. And I don't think that it's fair to expect me to help her. Even with the way she behaved with me the other day, she was yelling at me like I was her subordinate or something. She needs to remember that she's a grown woman. She made her own choices, and now she's having to face the consequences of those choices. Nobody is obliged to help her out. Anyone who decides to do so is doing that from the kindness of their own heart. The least she can do is just show a bit of gratitude. But if that's too difficult for her, then I guess she doesn't deserve any of the help. Anyway, 6 days have already passed. If she thinks that she needs my help, then she can come back and we can talk things out. And if she doesn't want it, then I'm fine with that as well. I know people might think that I'm letting go of the one opportunity that I got to repair my relationship with my daughter. But I don't want to fix things like this. Just because she's my daughter, that doesn't give her the license to walk all over me and treat me like a doormat and expect me to be fine with it. I wouldn't let anybody else do it. I won't let her either. I know I'm a parent, I'm a father, but I'm a human being first. Update 2. So it's been 3 days since my last update, and just as I had expected, she did not reach out to me. But she did reach out to other members of the family asking them for their help. She has started one of those GoFundMe campaigns for herself and her kids so she can get an apartment and lead a stable life at the very least. In addition to that, she's also seeking to cover the cost of a good divorce attorney because apparently Liam is trying to cheat her out of the alimony that she deserves by cutting it too low. He's also trying to skimp out on the child support, and the terms of the petition are really unfair for her. That I will agree with because I did go through the divorce papers and it all seemed pretty biased. Lots of people from the family have reached out to me to ask if I had any idea about this, and some of them have even suggested that I could try to help her out and make things right with her. They have no idea that I've already tried that once and it did not work out the way I thought it would. But anyway, if she thinks that this is what is the best option for her, then she can definitely go ahead. Heck, I'll even donate to the campaign if that helps. But I'm not reaching out to her. Not after what happened. I haven't told anybody in the family yet. But if anybody asks, I'm not going to lie about it either because honestly, I don't care anymore. I think I've been through enough, and at my age, certain things are already beyond my control. She is who she is. I've tried my best with her, and even until recently, I was willing to forgive and forget. But now I think I need to preserve my dignity more. The only part of this that really stings is that apart from that one day that I spent with them, I probably won't get to see my grandkids for a very long time. In fact, I might never get to see them again, because if my daughter decides that she's not going to be there for me when I'm on my deathbed, which she might do, I don't know, then I'll probably never get to see them again. And no matter how hard I try to push that out of my mind, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, both of us are losing out on a lot of things and experiences that we could have had just because of some ego clash. It's disappointing, but I don't think I'm going to back down, and I don't know if she's going to. I've tried my best. I can't try anymore. Update 3. Hello, everyone. So, it's been a week since the GoFundMe campaign was started by Emily, and so far she's managed to collect some money, but it's barely enough to cover everything. So she reached out to me. She sent me a text this morning saying that she was willing to talk to me and that she really wanted to sort things out, and that she might have overreacted a bit to the other day because she was overwhelmed with everything that was going on, and she might have lashed out at me for something that was really not my fault. So she wanted to start again. She wanted to talk to me and clear things up because we had spent enough of our lives being mad at each other already. We didn't need to waste more of it. Besides, most importantly, now that her kids had met me, they kept asking about Grandpa, and they wanted to meet me and be around me. So if not for our sake, she wanted me to entertain the idea of talking it out with her, at least for their sake. And I could obviously not say no to that. So I thought about it for a couple of hours. And then I replied to her saying that I was willing to sort things out if she was open to it and that she could come over for dinner. This is not an apology, at least not the kind that I'm looking for by any means, but it's a start. I don't know if she's coming over just because she needs some money and support, or if she genuinely wants to sort things out with me. But whatever it is, I'm willing to talk it out with her. However, if she decides to pick a fight with me again instead of apologizing, then I'll be done. Even now I'm giving her a chance because of the grandkids. But if she makes a mess of things even this time, then that will be the end. Because I don't think I can allow somebody to step on me over and over again and be fine with it, not even at the cost of my relationship with my daughter and grandkids. But I'm still hopeful, and I really do pray that things go well this time because I do want to keep in touch, and I do want them to be a part of my life in the future. So I really hope that this time she tries to understand my perspective as well, and doesn't just end up caring about her own feelings and whatever she has gone through, but about me as well. Anyway, most of all, I'm just looking forward to meeting my grandkids again, because the last time that we met, we couldn't spend time properly. But this time, I'm hoping that things will be better. Update 4. Hello, everyone. So last evening, I had invited Emily and my grandkids over for dinner so we could talk things out. From my last update, I guess people could tell that I had been a bit skeptical about how things would go, but I'm incredibly lucky and grateful because everything went pretty smoothly. Emily showed up with her kids and some chocolate for me and told me that she was really sorry about the way she had behaved the other day because she had just been going through a lot, not just recently, but for the past couple of years. And all of a sudden, her marriage was crumbling around her and she couldn't do anything about it because it was not in her control. She told me that she felt like her life was falling apart, and that's why she had been extremely emotional, which is why she ended up lashing out at me. But in the end, she knew that I was right. She knew that she owed me a huge apology for everything that had happened in the past and for the 10 years that she had been avoiding me because ultimately I was the only person that she could truly count on. I was right. She didn't really have any friends that she could rely on for help in a situation like this. Some of them had offered to let her stay with them, but it was only for a couple of days at most, and this was something that she needed help with on a long-term basis. She didn't blame them, of course, and neither did she blame any of the relatives who didn't respond to her when she needed their help, because everybody had their own stuff going on. At the end of the day, she knew that if there was anybody she could really count on without a second thought, it would have to be me. Regardless of the fact that we hadn't spoken for 10 years and that she had snubbed all my attempts to reconcile with her, she knew that if she apologized sincerely, I would forgive her. So that's what she was here to do. She acknowledged her mistakes in the past and said that she had been a brat 10 years ago to demand such an expensive wedding, knowing that I was not some big-shot millionaire who could afford that kind of thing. She even joked about how she was very lucky that I hadn't agreed to pay for that because otherwise I wouldn't be able to help her out with her divorce now. We had a good laugh over that, and she told me that she was really sorry for these past 10 years and that she regretted this the most. Not just because she needed my help right now, but also because she had thought about reconciling and trying to talk to me in the past 10 years, but every time she thought about it, she decided against it. And she didn't even respond to my attempts to do so either because she was just so ashamed of herself and everything that she'd done. She told me that apparently in the past 10 years, she had only felt guilty about her own behavior. And with time, it got more difficult for her to accept that the reason we didn't speak anymore was her own fault. While we were talking about it, she was very uncomfortable and awkward. And it was clear that she wasn't able to articulate it very well. But I could understand what she was getting at. And it was sad because we had wasted 10 years of our lives being upset with each other when we could have been there for one another. Of course, I had other members of my family, and so did she. She had her husband and kids. She had her own life, and I had mine. But at the end of the day, she was my daughter. She was my flesh and blood. And I think both of us regretted the fact that we let this come in between us for so long. And it took so much for us to reconcile for her to reach out to me. And I could tell that she was embarrassed that it took her a cheating husband and a divorce and the threat of being broke to finally reach out to me and try to repair our relationship. Eventually, she started fumbling with her words so much that I just cut her off. And I told her that whatever it was in the past now, and that we could try and build a better and stronger relationship now that we were on the same side. And at that point, she finally broke down and started sobbing like a baby. And at that point of time, it's really weird, but she reminded me so much of how she used to be when she was in middle school that I ended up going to her side and comforted her with her head on my lap. Something that would soothe her when she was younger. To be honest, at that point, it was easy to forget that we had spent the last 10 years fighting over something so petty. And I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like years and years of anger just evaporated right then. In the end, forgiving her turned out to be pretty easy. And I guess apologizing to me was a bit difficult for her, but we got through it somehow. My grandkids were obviously very confused about whatever was going on, and they were not happy to see their mom cry like that. So I ended up having to comfort them as well, but it was nice to have this little family around me. And it was quite easy for me to make up my mind right then that they were going to stay with me for as long as they needed to. And even if they ended up moving in with me on a permanent basis, I would be more than fine with that as well. Anyway, we had dinner together, and then we had to think about what to do about the future. She told me that she was willing to look for a job. She didn't want to live with me and be a freeloader. And besides, the only reason she had to quit her job was because Liam had said that after 2 kids, it would save them more money on childcare than if she went out for work. So that was decided, and it was convenient because I have my own company and it can pretty much run itself without me. So apart from a few occasions, it's not like I need to go into work daily. I can take care of the kids at home and will be doing pickups and drop-offs for the older ones. She can look for a job, and I'm going to be supporting her until then. As for the divorce and everything, I already have a divorce attorney in mind who helped out a friend of mine in a pretty tight spot, and he's a darn good lawyer. He's a bit expensive, but since I'm going to be paying for everything, it doesn't matter. I just want her to get everything that she deserves, and I'm not going to let that slimeball Liam cheat her out of anything. As far as I know regarding the custody arrangement, Liam has claimed that he is fine with having the kids over for every other weekend, but that obviously means that he shouldn't be skimping out on the child support money. So I'm going to make sure that she gets what she needs on that as well. And I just hope that everything goes smoothly from this point onward. As for the house and their other joint assets, I think it's only fair for everything to be divided equally. The house should be sold because I think they bought it together and he had no right to kick her out like that in the first place. Anyway, I think they should sell the house and split the money from that. But anyway, we still have a long way to go, and this is just the plan for right now. I'm just happy that we were able to talk things out, and now we're going to have a better future ahead of us. I'm really looking forward to spending more time with my grandkids and my daughter and building a better relationship with all of them. So far, Emily had been staying with a friend for the past couple of days, and she's gone back to get all her stuff and move in with me this morning, and I'm just really happy. I think this is pretty much the best thing that I could have asked for. Update 5. Hello everyone. 4 weeks have passed since my daughter moved in with me, and it still feels surreal at certain times, but I know that it's real and I couldn't have been happier. We have settled into our routine, and in a couple of days she's starting a new job and she's pretty excited about it. With regards to the divorce, they are still negotiating, but things are going in her favor from whatever I've heard, and I think Liam is just trying to buy himself some more time. But in the end, I'm pretty sure that things are going to work out in Emily's favor, and I'm really happy about that. We have talked things out and we have put our differences in the past. We still have a few disagreements here and there, but they are minor and we're always able to sort it out. We have spoken about the future as well, and Emily was telling me that she might move out with the kids once the divorce comes through and she's financially stable enough to do so. But I told her that she and the kids were welcome to stay here because I loved having them around and I felt like I was getting to make up for lost time. So she agreed. And I'm content and at peace with everything now. I feel like a huge burden that I had been carrying around for the past decade has been finally lifted off of my shoulders, and I can finally relax now. In fact, I think this is the happiest that I have felt in years. Before this, I was living my life, but it felt like I was just getting through it. But now everything seems much better, and I'm pretty sure that my wife would have wanted this for us. So when we meet again, I know that both of us will be very happy about how all this worked out for us.